Hi, I'm Lucilla Ronai and welcome back to another Museum from Home because I am still a conservator working from home. So today I want to take you back in time and across the seas to Trinity College Dublin, specifically the library at Trinity College Dublin in Ireland. Back in 2015 I was fortunate enough to be the Heritage Council Conservation Intern there. So every year the Heritage Council offers conservation internships in Dublin to 5 different institutions: the Library of Trinity College Dublin, the Chester Beatty Library, the National Library of Ireland, the National Gallery of Art and the National Archives. So Ireland has an incredibly rich cultural material history. Anyone that's been there, walked around the streets, visited any of the museums, libraries, galleries or archives knows this. On my way to work I would walk past 2 cathedrals and a castle. As an Australian, it's pretty awe-inspiring. So when I was selected to go, it was the fulfillment of a dream. So the Preservation and Conservation Department at Trinity is tasked with looking after the collection. I was part of the Conservation Department as an intern, and on my first day, they handed me a 17th century Dutch atlas. Not only was I allowed to touch this, I got to treat it. So now I just want to give you a bit of a walkthrough of what you can see when you visit Trinity. So it's most famous for the Book of Kells and the Old Library. You'd walk in and you turn to the right and there'd be the display of the Book of Kells, and just before they usually have an exhibition space that does change over the items that complement the Book of Kells. So the Book of Kells, I'd say it's one of the most famous books in the world, probably. It's definitely the most famous book in Ireland. It dates from 800 AD, and so that's pretty old. It's over 1,000 years old and it's still intact and still readable. So the Book of Kells have been rebound into 4 volumes and they change the page openings quite regularly, and this is because of light damage. So they make sure that they turn the pages so the pages themselves get quite even light exposure. So if you've ever wondered why you've gone into an exhibition, the light levels are set quite low. That's for items that are quite sensitive to light, which is particularly paper items, and also textiles are quite sensitive to light. So you walk through this space, then you'll ascend up some stairs and that will lead to this sort of caged area, and you'll see books upon books upon books in these beautiful shelves with beautiful bindings, and that's the Fagel collection. That's stored as a cohesive collection there. And then you turn to your right and you walk into the old library, 65 meters in length, high ceilings, bookshelves from floor to ceiling on the level you're at, and then another gallery level where there's bookshelves filled to the brim. So the public can go through the old library main central walkway and you can see things on display, temporary exhibits in showcases and a few other things there as well. But it's just overwhelming, and as someone who loves books and conservation, it is just a dream. The old library dates from the 1700s and it is filled with the books that are part of the Trinity College Library collection. There's hundreds of thousands of books in this old library. So as with a lot of collections that are as vast as Trinity's, in a conservation department that does not have thousands of conservators, it's very hard to work on all the material. So when you go into the long room in the old library and you see the collection items on display, specifically the books, any books that requires further treatment, needing some conservation love and care, you'll see a white cotton tie tying it together to hold it in one piece. So when you're there in the library and you're looking at the shelves and you see a white cotton tie, you know why. Also, a lot of volumes, as they've been treated, get special customized housing. So you sometimes see the beautiful bindings of the old books, you see the white cotton ties, but you'll also see boxes or housing that they've been put in. Also, I get to walk through the long room quite a lot, and the gallery level that runs along the whole 65-meter length old library either side. The public's not allowed to go up there, but as staff you are allowed to. So there's a little cutout doorways in the bookshelves that you walk through on either side. And on this gallery level, at one end is the Manuscripts Department, and on the other end is the Early Printed Books Department. Whenever I was working on the collection and I would either pick up material or drop it off, I would walk up this gallery section, go into those departments, talk with the librarians, pick up material, and then take it back to the conservation department, walking through the old library. It was seriously a dream. I still actually, 4 years on, I still can't believe that I got to do it. Also, while I was an intern there, I was fortunate enough to help with the digitisation of one of the early Irish manuscripts, Codex Usirenius Primus. So I might be saying that wrong. So Trinity has an incredible collection of early Irish manuscripts, and there's been a huge project to go through and digitise them all to the highest possible quality. There is blogs detailing what they've done, including the conservation treatment, and also you can flick through the pages quite literally on the Trinity website, so I definitely recommend checking that out. So this codex in particular dates from the 5th to the 7th century. There's a bit of a mystery about how old it truly is, but ultimately it has survived over 1,000 years, and the writing is still crisp on the pages. So the pages are parchment, so it's an animal skin that's been treated in a very certain way to produce a writing substrate. And it's written in ink that is still crisp upon the pages. It's incredible. It's no longer in book form though, because it has had a hard life in its more than 1,000 years. So the pages that I helped digitize, you could very clearly see had suffered damage at the edges. I was fortunate enough to help digitize it. So that means that I worked with a photographer that digitized each page front and back to the highest possible quality. My job was literally page by page to lift page out by its housing, put it on the stand, step back, it'd be photographed, I'd come in, turn it over, step back, it'd be photographed again, pick it up, put it back in its housing and get the next page. So it was pretty incredible experience. I was a bit scared to breathe at some points, but I was lucky enough that I didn't have to handle the object directly. It had undergone a conservation treatment, which means each page was put in housing that meant the manuscript itself never needed to be handled. So I really recommend looking online and being able to look at the texts and the pages of Codex Usirenius Primus. And that's just one example of the incredible things that are in Trinity's library collection. So I'm incredibly grateful to the Heritage Council and also to the Library of Trinity College Dublin and the Preservation and Conservation Department and staff. It was the most incredible experience. As a conservator, I get to see some pretty incredible things, handle some pretty amazing things, and see all the behind the scenes. But Trinity and my experience as an intern there is just going to go down in history as one of the most incredible experiences of my conservation career. Thank you for joining me for another Museum from Home. I hope you enjoyed finding out about my internship at the Library of Trinity College Dublin, finding out about the Conservation Department, the collection, and my incredible experience there.